Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Now I'm going to use the stud chain. Back, back. When we did forequarters and hindquarters movements yesterday with Eve, she was fine. But she wasn't harnessed up. She wasn't here next to Sadie. It's all right. We need to do it right here when she's harnessed up. Over. Whoa. Over. 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 There. She's taking nice small steps. Look at her body language. Her hips are still apart, but let's see if I can have you. Whoa. No. Over. 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 Good. Whoa. Okay. See if I can have you walk. She's certainly aware of you. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Not going to let her barrel through me if I can help it. Over. 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 Whoa. Over. Good. Whoa. See if you can walk behind. If you can just touch that rope on her hip. No, she's going to avoid that rope. She remembers a bad experience. It's all right. I need to get past her right brain reaction now. Over, over. Whoop. Now walk behind again. She'll see you. I'm going to make nice. It's all right. It's all right. Just touch her hip very lightly. Whoa, 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 whoa. No. Bad answer. Apply pressure. Well, we're getting closer. Whoop. And it is kind of wet, so it's slippery here. I have to be careful not to move too fast. Good. Whoa, whoa. Okay, they're far apart, but they're parallel. It's all right. Okay, walk over to her hip. It's all right. Woo. No. Whoa. Whoa. It's all right. She's licking her lips. Okay, walk over to her hip again. It's all right. It's all right. No. Gently asking her to move over. She has to have confidence in me. It's all right. Walk over. We're not parallel, but let's see if she can have enough confidence in me that she won't walk forward. It's all right. There. And we're touching her hip, and we're going to call that, whoop, our moment of resolution. Today's session with Sadie and Eve on pairs driving is going to be called ropes, ropes, ropes. We are really going to work today on desensitizing the horses with ropes. These are 2 long, soft cotton ropes. This is the rope I eventually will be using for the butt rope. We're back against the wall of the shed, with the harness pole hanging for a moment as we want to bring it up later, but we're back against the wall of the shed because we're having a little trouble with Eve, my most trustworthy of all farming horses, because she had a bit of a scare with Sadie a few weeks ago, and it's hard to erase the scare. So we're backing up again. We're saying, don't worry, when you get next to Sadie, you're going to be safe. She got a rope wrapped around her leg, and Eve did, and danced around a bit before we got it unwrapped. So that made me come to the conclusion that even though my horses have all been rope desensitized, we need to do some more. There are a lot of ropes, chains, straps, traces involved in farming with horses. And we've got to get the horses to say, don't worry, I'm not worried about those things. I trust you. I have confidence in you, even if they touch them in unusual places. Doc Hamill's Fundamentals, DVD number 4. About halfway through is all about desensitizing a green horse to farming, and he does a lot of rope desensitization in that DVD. And I'm going to let it fall. Okay. Because I don't want it up high. I want us to be able to bring Eve and Sadie in here and get them to stand parallel if we can. And then, with the help of my cameraman, we're going to do some rope desensitization with these very long but very soft cotton ropes. Okay, let's come on in here. We're just walking them around. We've got the Monty Roberts dually halter on Eve today, and we've got a nice smooth stud chain on Sadie, just in case we need the extra message if they misbehave. Let's see if you two, Aaron leading Eve and Angela leading Sadie, can walk in here and step over or come in the side. I don't care. I'm trying to get these two horses to say, okay, we're partners. Good. She touched it, but she's okay on it. Let's see what Sadie says. Come on over.
I'm on the wrong side.
Oh, okay. Okay, Aaron, can you walk back out again and come to this side so that Angela doesn't have to change her stud chain to the other side? Careful with that piece that's hanging on the ground behind you. Be real careful. You have to pick it up on your shoulder a little more because Eve almost just stepped on it, and that could have been spooky for both you and her. So Aaron's going to come over here, and now he has to change his Monty Roberts loop, which is now going to be on Eve's right side. Okay, all right. Eve sure doesn't look spooked now. Sadie was real well behaved in our last session. We'll see how she does today. And look, we also put up our panels, which, if we need to try to close the space, we'll pick them up and close the space. But we can pull them out if we have to quickly. Okay, here comes Eve. Good girl, Eve. We're in front of the wall, which will help to make them okay. Yes, try to keep her head up, Angela. Yeah, when they're harnessed up, they are not supposed to be putting their heads down to investigate how scrumptious the grass might be. Look, this is much better than last time. Eve seems to be just fine. Okay, so I think what I want to do is, Scott, if you can leave the camera on us, you come here. We're going to do some rope desensitization very, very carefully with the objective of helping Eve and Sadie to understand the butt rope. We've had it on them before, but it was a while back, and it was before Eve got scared. This rope is so long. Is she getting anxious? Yeah. And it used to be that Eve wasn't anxious at all. Now I'm taking this soft cotton rope, trying to unwrap it. See if we can find the end here. And then we're going to, yeah, there's the end. Okay, we're going to, I'll do it first and then you come and grab it. Okay. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. Already her head's coming up. I don't want to give the rope to Aaron at this point because I want him to give full attention to controlling Eve if she starts getting afraid. Okay, well, you know what? You were in the back behind Sadie last time. Let's see what happens. I'm holding it up here at her shoulder. She's feeling it on her hip. And let Sadie know you're there.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right, girls. And Angela, you think about getting her out of here if she's objecting to those feelings. We're fine. You're at the shoulder. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That is a moment of resolution right in the middle of our session because I feel like we can do more today. All right. Now I'm going to walk out, and you walk out, Scott. And Scott was watching with me the Doc Hamill DVD. Version 4, session 4, this morning. And here's what Doc Hamill said to do. And, you know, we've done this kind of thing with our horses. Angela, if you're comfortable there, just stay there. He said, take the rope. Even though you don't intend to put it there, it might end up there for some reason. It's all right, Eve. Go between their legs. We're not ready to do that with Sadie yet. Okay, I'm doing it with Eve, and she's fine. She's getting a little nervous. She's moving around. Very good. Okay. Scott, I'll tell you what. You come here and hold this. You can put that down. I've got this other rope if we need it, but I don't know that we're going to need it. Hold it, keeping in mind that if they get spooked, we need to get the ropes out of there so they don't get wrapped around their legs, which is what scares them so much. And of course, eventually we don't want it to scare them. Now I've got it between Eve's legs. I'm making some movement. Good, Eve is fine on it. Now I'm going to come over here, get this rope out of my hand in case I need both hands. Get this butt rope off my neck so it doesn't accidentally fall down if we get into a near wreck. It's all right, Sadie. Now, all this time, this was touching Eve on her back legs, which, you know, the chains in front of the single tree, the traces, the straps, they could all somehow end up back there, including the training harness pole could end up between the legs. So we've got to make sure that our horses don't mind having that kind of feeling between their legs. Now, what is Sadie going to say? Okay, you're watching that. Okay, you watch Evie. She seems fine. I'm going to let Sadie know I'm here by talking to her. It's all right, Sadie. It's all right. I'm going to reach down, not trying to stay out of strike zone. I'm putting the rope. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. She was stepping forward, trying to get away from me going between her legs, but I'm not going to give up yet. We've got some kids next door swinging on a tree, and I'm sure Eve sees it. It's all right, Sadie. I'm going to try to reach down now, making sure that I don't get wrapped up in this rope either. It's all right, Sadie. My hand is on the inside of her leg, and she picked up her leg. She's saying, why are you putting your hand in there? So, okay, that's the message to me. Not the rope yet. Just the hand with the rope behind her. It's all right. It's all right. I'm touching the inside of her upper leg. The inside of her, the lower leg. Now, she's okay. She's listening to me. Both horses have their ears back. It's all right, Sadie. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I've got the rope there now, but I'm not pulling. Just barely touching. The rope is between her legs, and my left hand has a loop, my right hand has a loop, and now I'm going up and down her leg with the rope. And ears back, but head down. They're both blinking, so they're not totally spooked. Now I'm rubbing the rope back and forth. I'm going to let it drop to the ground. I'm going to pull it out between her hooves. Okay, I'm going to come over here and do the same exercise with Eve. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. It's all right. Well, the next time, now I'm going to, you can drop it. Let me pull it out. So she's feeling it slither down by her hooves. Good, she's fine on it. So the next time we do this, I'd feel comfortable putting the training harness pole up with the quick releases on the bolt eyes that we have, or the screw eyes that we have on the wall. We'll have these panels here just in case we want to make the space that we're working in smaller. Sometimes horses are better with smaller spaces and walls in front than they are in open spaces. So that seems to be working for us today. So, and Eve seems to be just fine being next to her daughter Sadie again. The first time in a long time, in several weeks. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this again. Maybe have the harness on next time. Maybe put the actual butt rope on with our quick releases and especially our cat collars that quickly release. And try to, maybe try to walk around. I don't know if we'll do that in the next step. But I can tell you now that Eve and Sadie are close enough to each other and parallel enough to each other that if we could put all the pieces together, the harness pole, the butt rope, the drive lines, the cross-check reins, the single trees, we'd be able to do some farming. We just have to make sure that when we put all those pieces together, we are as trusting of our farming pair as we possibly can be, and give them reward for giving us the right answer. We hope to show you a pair of farming horses yet this year. That's all. Well, this corridor is an 8-foot corridor across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 64 foot long. And it's very similar to the corridor where we just worked semi in a corridor. So we want to work Eve and Sadie in this corridor with their harnesses on, with the butt rope on, first holding them, and with the jockey sticks across their collars to remind them to stay close together in the front, close together in the back, to move parallel so that when they're hooked to the training harness pole and ultimately to the real harness pole, they'll understand that the right answer is to stay parallel, whether we're going forward or backward. But I don't want to start the session today in this corridor. I want to work up to it for the two reasons. It's rather narrow for two horses, and it's right on a road, not a heavily traveled road. Can we turn the camera to the road? It's a dirt road, and only neighbors use it. But I don't want horses running around on the road if they get spooked. So we're going to stop the camera now and move to an interim plot where we feel safer to try this. And if all goes well today, we'll see. Maybe next session we're going to use this corridor, which we call the HVD East, Southeast Corridor. And we'll go up and back with Sadie and Eve harnessed together with the jockey stick and the butt rope until we're pretty confident that they're understanding that the right answer is to stay parallel. Here's the area that we're going to use at first, with the intention of then using the longer, narrow corridor later. It's a horse corral. Notice that it's wider, but it's completely enclosed at our discretion with gates. The horses graze here and hang out here a lot, so they shouldn't be worried about being here. We have their collars on and their surcingles on. And here is the jockey stick, which we used many sessions ago. We felt comfortable using it, and then we moved on, but now we've got to go back and desensitize and then sensitize them to the jockey stick. We're also a little bit concerned about, these are quick releases, but maybe we should be using some other kind of hook that has a quicker release. With quick releases, it's great if you can be right there to grab the sleeve. And if my cameraman can zoom in, grab the sleeve, pull it down, and then the hook releases. But whoa, if you have a horse that's spooking, or even worse, two horses that are spooking, how can you get up to this quick release? So we may go for quick release cat collars like we did on the Britchen. We may go for hooks that are designed to, if there is tension, to pull away. For now, we're just showing you what the plan is, and we're gonna maybe start putting things back on them. Can you come up, bring them up together, get them as close as you can. We've got a Monty Roberts on Eve and a stud chain on Sadie, just in case we need the extra control. Remember that we use web collars instead of rope, web halters instead of rope halters, because we have found that with rope halters, there are too many opportunities for the horses to get the halter hooked up on all of the straps and hooks and metal whatevers of the harness. So we're definitely using these web halters, but we wanted the extra control. Now let them smell it. Eve's not even interested, but Sadie is. She almost always is. Good. Good girls. Okay, and if we were to hook up, I'm not sure yet whether we will today, we would, can you step back a little bit? I'm going to put this on Eve. We would open the quick release, hook to a carabiner. It's all right, Evie. It's all right. It's all right. Eve's a little worried. Hook to the carabiner. It's all right. And there. Now it's hooked on Eve, but I'm not gonna fasten it to Sadie yet, because you see, if they pull away, you see how Sadie's pulling away? They would feel this constriction on their collars, on their chests, and that could cause that panic reaction that we're trying to avoid. And oh, did you release it? Good. The reason that this is happening is because Sadie and Eve don't understand yet that the right answer is parallel, front and back, and stay together, whether we go forward, backward, left, or right. So we've got a long ways to go to train them with that. But here the plan is, with the jockey stick, without the training harness pole at this point, with the jockey stick, can you hold this, Aaron, just like this? Angela, can you get the other end? Hooked to their collars. And then recently we have worked with the butt rope. We know that it's the right size. It's the right length now to go around the horses if they're at a reasonable distance from each other. And can you step forward just a little bit? Here is one of those breakaway cat collars. And what we do is with just a plain clasp, smooth clasp, we hook to the cat collar on the hame ring. It's all right. Now this is a cat collar and it will break away if we pull it, or if you have to pull it, Angela. It's right behind you. Okay. And then we're gonna go through a breakaway cat collar here on the Britchen, if the Britchen were on. And then we have a breakaway cat collar under the tail, because we like to keep the rope up off the ground, but not too close to under the tail. So, because if they get that rope feeling under the tail, they'll clamp down, and that can be dangerous. Now, Sadie's doing fine on feeling the rope on her hip. And what I'm going to do for now, because Eve is too far away, I'm going to come all the way around. It's all right, Eve. Now, Eve is concerned, and so Sadie's getting concerned. It's all right. It's all right. She's feeling the rope on her hip. It's all right. It's all right. I see her back leg cocked, so I'm reading body language. I see her ears back. I know she's listening. I see her nostrils flaring, so she's trying to figure it out. I'm putting the other side of the rope right here, letting her investigate. Now the rope is touching her on both of her hips. Normally in pairs, she'll only feel it on the outside hip. It will go around the pair horse's hip and on the outside and hook to breakaway cat collars on the outside of the pair horse's hips and ham rings. Well, that's a plan. Or we're going back to the jockey stick and the butt rope without the training harness pole, without the simulated forecart, because we're going to break this task down into many subtasks, make sure we're confident with each of the subtasks, and then start training the horses with more than one subtask, and then ask the horses to do it with all the subtasks together. In other words, the task of being a farming horse who's willing to pull with a partner in a field to plant some kind of a crop. And the crop of choice here at Shadrach Farms is Timothy hay, and the tools will be the horses, a homemade forecart, and our own organic composted manure. That's our plan, however long it takes, and that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.